Another thing I would say is, and you do see this at bottoms, I'm not necessarily calling a bottom, but you do see this type of thing at bottoms. Towards the end of last week and the beginning of this week, there was a growing chorus of people telling me they're getting more confident that we're going lower, meaning
Yep.
lower than the 60K wick that we hit.
Well, fear and greed this week hit 5, which is the lowest ever in Bitcoin history.
Yeah,
That's all.
yeah,
That's the quantification of what you're hearing, I think.
exactly, exactly. But the flip side of that is it is starting to make me think of November 2022 when we were at 15, 16K and tons of people were telling me, "Hey, I think we're going to 12K." That was a big number, or 10K, just, a round number people said we were going to. And some people were waiting on the sidelines for that dip and it just never happened. And then by April of 2023, we basically hit 30K again. So that's like almost 100% gain a few months after the FTX collapse.
Yep.
And there wasn't necessarily some like big liquidity event. There was the US regional banking crisis, but to be honest, most people didn't even like know what that was. It got papered over so quickly. So I just point to that for two reasons. One, these are things you see at the bottom where people say, "Oh, I know we just had a 15% crash in one day and 52% peak to trough, but it's going lower." That's like, and these are hardcore Bitcoiners who totally believe in the asset. So there's more people saying that. And then number two, let's just think back to what happened the last time we had this big of a fall. And there were a lot of people calling for it to fall lower. It didn't happen. And then 5 or 6 months later, there was a big rally. So just because it happened in 2022, 23 doesn't mean it has to repeat that way. But that's what you'll see a lot of people doing now, right? Is looking back at prior periods of Bitcoin and saying, "Hey, when we had a drop, this is how it behaved."
Yep.
It's somewhat helpful, but it should not be taken as gospel.